Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sanjeevani Ashram's VT Seva lecture series. As part of today's lecture, we will be talking about cybersecurity. Venumadhav Garu and Suruchit will take us through the presentation.
Right. Thanks, Garu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining the online session. And we are representing VT Seva, and we have collaborated with the Center for Cyber Safety and Education to bring you this wonderful educational series. Again, the goal is to help you make sure that you are safe online, your families are safe online. By no means, we're claiming as experts in cybersecurity. However, whatever we learn, we want to make sure to bring it to all of you. Please feel free to ask any questions if you're online. Type your questions. We'll make sure to attend those questions. And thanks to Dr. Narasimha Garu and Dr. Shaila Garu for bringing this to all of us. And we also would like to thank Center for Cyber Safety and Education for collaborating with us to bring this wonderful presentation to you. Real quick, we just wanted to, I know VT Seva is, you all know what VT Seva is, but just in case, we are a global not-for-profit organization. We focus on marginalized communities, underprivileged communities, for health, education, and everything, right? And then coming to the Center for Cybersecurity Education, it's a charitable foundation of ISC2. I'm sure most of you know about ISC2. It's a global famous certification organization. It's International Information System for System Security Certification Consortium. Center for Cybersecurity Education, it's a charitable foundation of ISC2. And we focus, as part of Center for Cybersecurity Education, we focus on educating people, everyone, educating the communities on cyber awareness, cyber safety practices, and we also raise awareness of cyber career options. And we also talk about how to get scholarships for cyber education. And there are a lot of small organizations who cannot afford to have their own cyber organization, information security organization to protect those organizations. So we also help those small organizations in setting up, make sure their information is secure. So today's focus is educating on cyber safety practices. And a little bit about us. Again, my name is Venumadhav. I did Master's in Cybersecurity, MBA, Bachelor's in Computer Science and Engineering. I have several certifications in cybersecurity from both ISC2 and ISACA. We just discussed about ISC2. ISACA is another, prominent organization that helps a lot of major organizations with audits and certifications. It's called Information Systems Audit and Control Association. And currently I'm working at Marsh as a senior manager IT security governance system complaints. And I used to work for Bank of America as a director, senior technology manager.
So my name is Suchir Mididodi. I graduated from Indiana University this past May with my master's in information systems, and I also did my undergrad at Indiana University with my undergrad in information systems and business analytics. I'm also certified with 2 certifications starting out my career in cybersecurity. I'm also at Marsh as a GRC automation and analytics analyst, and I've had former experience in cybersecurity for my internships as well. So let's begin. So one of the first things we want to emphasize, and it's really important, is that if you want to be cyber safe, you have to be cyber aware. You have to understand the internet, you have to understand what's going on. So this is something that's really big and it's a theme for us. So to begin, we'll start with covering some of our basics. But first, let's get some participation. Raise your hand if you use the internet to either connect to other people, shop and access bank information, watch movies, play games, or use it for social media. Right, basically everyone.
Wait a minute. So are you saying that if if I do not have any presence online, if I'm confined to my four walls in the room, are you saying that I'm safe?
No, because everything is interconnected.
Right. So exactly. So unless and until you're an indigenous tribe from Amazon rainforest or somewhere, you are impacted. So don't go anywhere by looking into this slide that hey, I'm not online, I'm not impacted. It's everyone is impacted, and we'll tell you how and why.
So again, we're gonna go through some basics real quick. Making sure you understand the basic terminology is really important. It'll help you understand the internet world a lot better, and you can be a lot more informed about what's happening in the world and on the news with cybersecurity. Just real quick, throw out some phrases that you've heard, like cybersecurity wise. Anyone have any phrases or terms or words?
Phishing.
Phishing,
Spam.
spam.
Phishing.
Okay.
Smishing.
Yeah, smishing. Yeah, so a lot of these words we'll cover, we'll take a look. These are basic terminologies that are really important to understand cybersecurity and cybersecurity safety. So we'll start off with safe passwords. First things first with passwords, the longer the better, make it a phrase. Something like I eat @2 on Tuesdays instead of eating 2 exclamation marks. So the longer phrase, the better. You want a 12-character minimum where you're not repeating things like characters or numbers. So no 1, 2, 3, 4s, no ABCDs, and don't use any commonly used passwords or context-specific words. Things like password as a password, very common. A lot of people do it and they still get hacked. Use multi-factor authentication whenever it's offered. We'll go over multi-factor authentication a little bit later, but it's very important to have that when it's possible. And make sure that you have your passwords on every single device that you have, not just your computer, but your phones, any other devices that you might use. Lock them down with the password. A little bit more, so make sure you store all your passwords in kind of a secure location. So as we suggested, 12 characters in a phrase. If you have a different password for each different thing you're logging into, it's going to be hard to remember. So something like a password vault or a password manager is very, very useful so that you don't have to write them down somewhere or remember everything. So multi-factor authentication, what is it? We mentioned it. It's basically an additional layer of security that's designed to help or designed to require users to provide more than one form of verification. This includes 3 things: something you know, something you have, or something you are. So something you know is something like obviously your password or a PIN, whatever you set for those. Something you have is, for example, your smartphone. So let's say you're logging into something, you have a token multi-factor authentication system set up, and you get a text to your phone for a one-time code. That goes to your smartphone, so it's part of something you have. And then something you are, so if we're on our phones, we have Face IDs or Touch IDs. Something you are includes things that are you, that make up you, so your fingerprints, your face itself, even iris scans are part of it, depending on where you are. So those are some parts for multi-factor authentication. So let's talk a little bit more about some terminology as well. Hacked, so what does it mean to be hacked? The bad actor or a bad guy gets your password. They might have access to your account and you might end up being locked out of your account. And they might ask you for a ransom. Ransom is where they're gonna ask you to pay to get your account back. Social media companies could help you, but if you're on social media, you lose your social media account, or someone hacks into your Instagram, if you respond to them, if you ask Instagram for your account back, they might be able to help you, but it's often difficult to get your account back. And how do you prevent it? Well, we talked about password safety, keep secure passwords, but change your passwords often, use multi-factor authentication, and then use a password keeper or password manager. Cloned is another thing, it's another social media term. So if your account is cloned, so let's say you have an Instagram account, someone makes something exactly the same. They take your pictures, they take a similar username, and they add your photos and everything to another account. They're most likely looking to reach out to your connections and ask them or send them different messages, ask them for information about you or information about each other. You still have your account, but the other person has an account that's a duplicate of yours. Most likely your password probably wasn't stolen, but either way, it's still good practice. Make sure you change your passwords if you haven't changed it in a while. So how do you prevent getting cloned? Be aware of any of the information that you put out online. And if you see anything, say something. See something, say something. Report it. Report any misuses of your information, or if you see your friend has a fake account that's like been cloned, report any of that to a social media company, and then make sure you inform all your followers and your friends online of the clone. So a little bit more interaction. We'll go for some quizzes. Is it good practice to keep your passwords on a sticky note next to your computer?
No.
Correct. Obviously, if someone walks in, they can see it and log in. What about using the same password on all your devices, your computer, your phone?
No.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, if, God forbid, someone steals your phone and they have that password, then they can probably take everything else as well. And what about using an online password generator? This one's tricky.
Yes.
It should be safe.
It is safe. So an online password generator is more likely to give you a password that's just a random sequence of characters and numbers that don't really make any sense. So obviously it's going to be hard for you to remember, but you can put it in a password manager as we talked about. It'll be way more secure. So what about using an easy to remember password like your pet's name or password as your password?
No.
Definitely not. If someone knows you well enough and they have bad intentions, there's a pretty good chance that they can get into your accounts if they try things like, oh, your mom's birthday or your sibling's name, something like that. And then what about using a password manager like we talked about? Some things like LastPass, 1Password, Windows Credential Manager, or your Apple iCloud keychain.
Safe.
Perfect. We talked about password managers. They're very useful when it comes to keeping your passwords secure in kind of a good area for you to remember them. And then what about sharing your passwords with other people? No, I know we all do this. It's definitely something we're all guilty of. But even if we do, make sure you're very careful about who you're sharing things with and try not to share as much as possible. We'll cover some more basics. We'll talk about open Wi-Fi. So what's open Wi-Fi? So let's say you're going to Starbucks, you're gonna bring your laptop, do some work, get some coffee, put some headphones on, you're gonna connect to the Wi-Fi network. Free Wi-Fi, that's your open Wi-Fi. It's useful, very useful to connect, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of risks that come with connecting to any random Wi-Fi network, even if it's a free network from a reputable place. So how do we kind of mitigate some of these risks? It's really important to avoid doing anything that's not really important at the moment. And these things are super specific. They include, don't check your bank account information. Don't make any online purchases. Don't use your credit cards. Don't type in personal information anywhere on the internet. And if you do connect, make sure you connect with caution. Be very safe about how you're connecting. Don't turn off your auto connect feature. So once you connect to it, go back into your settings and turn off auto connect. So that next time you walk by, you're not randomly connecting to it for 2 seconds. And then make sure you double check that you're connecting to the correct network. So this is really important. There are instances where people park outside in a van, they have their own network set up and it says Starbucks Wi-Fi 2 if we're at Starbucks, right? You accidentally connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi 2. It's some hacker's network. Now they got into everything. You might still connect to the internet. They can see everything you're doing. They can log all your passwords, information, and all of that. So make sure you're connecting to the right Wi-Fi and with the right password.
So in cybersecurity terms, we call it as man in the middle attack. I mean, any public Wi-Fi, it's open. Whatever you're doing is open. Everyone, someone can monitor your activity and they can make a note of your credit card numbers, your personal information. It's called man in the middle attack in cybersecurity terms.
So one more quiz, we'll do another one. Is it okay to check your bank balance or Wi-Fi using the Wi-Fi at the library?
No.
Awesome. Hackers can probably get access to that. So what about when you're in doubt, use your phone and data plan to access sensitive information?
No. Without Wi-Fi.
Without Wi-Fi?
We can.
Yes. So you want to use your data plan. So let's say you do need to urgently check your bank info. You're connected to public Wi-Fi. Just turn the Wi-Fi off real quick, connect it to cell service or use a hotspot. And then what about verifying the name of your Wi-Fi network before connecting to it locally?
Yes.
Perfect. Make sure you double check every time before you connect to everything. And then shopping online using a coffee shop's free Wi-Fi is okay if it's password protected.
No.
Right. So even if there's a password, everyone has that password. You're not the only one with it. So Yes.
All right, so we'll go into some more again. Even though it says basics, but a little bit advanced. I'm sure most of you are aware, but however, firewalls. When you go to an airport, everyone can enter into the airport, but only few people can get to the gate. Why? Someone will stop you, right? Someone will stop you and look at your identity ID and verify that you are who you are, and you have a legitimate reason to get to the gate, right? Even if you show your ID, that does not mean that you can get to the gate, right? If you're not a traveler, right? So, what firewall is your personal guard. Your firewall is your personal guard, which is guarding your information. It will make sure that only legitimate information can get into your network, your computer, your laptop. So make sure firewall is turned on your laptops, your computers, because that is the only way it can stop malicious traffic getting into your computer. Uh, it's like a wall around the castle. Or something.
So there, it said that you can have an external firewall, hardware firewall, if you don't have one.
Yeah, so very good question, Dr. Thank you. So there are two types of firewalls. One is hardware firewall and the software firewall. So hardware firewall is something very for big, huge organizations which have data centers. But for us, for individuals and families, there is something called software firewall, which is already available. For example, if you have Windows, Microsoft Windows as your operating system, Windows Defender comes with a firewall. You just need to go to the Windows security and just turn on the firewall. If you have McAfee or Norton antivirus, they also come with firewall. You just need to go and turn the firewall. And these are like software firewalls. VPN. So VPN is another, again, the operating systems does not, most of the operating systems like Windows do not by default provide VPNs. VPN is something like a tunnel. It's a tunnel that carries your information securely, right? I'll give you an analogy. When, for example, if you're sending something, sensitive information in a car, right? So, and anyone can, stop the car, see what is in there, it's possible. However, if you're sending that same secure information in an armored truck with tinted glasses, armored, no one can see what is in there, So VPN is like a secure tunnel. When your information is going through the internet, it is carried in a secure tunnel so that no one else can see. So McAfee or any other antivirus systems, they come with VPN. So you can enable VPN and protect your information and make sure you have your own secure tunnel for the information that you are sending and receiving. So we'll look into some more terms like malware, ransomware, phishing. I'm sure you must have looked into this in the news, experienced yourself, right? So there are bad actors everywhere. There are like several. Forget about bad actors. There is a concept called script kiddies. Script kiddies are someone like college students or some hackers. They do it for fun, not to get anything out of it, just to do it for fun. Or there are like adversaries, malicious actors who are constantly looking into the internet to see what can they find, what can they get out of it, right? So they want to steal your social security number, your bank information, your credit card information, your passwords, everything. So they're like watching 24/7, 365 days. So we need to protect ourselves. So like it's sequence, right? So phishing. Let's start with phishing. I know a couple of you mentioned several different types of phishing. So phishing is something where you're deceived to act on something that seems to be legitimate. So you get an email, and then that seems to be very legitimate. That seems to be coming from your bank, from your friend, from your family, and with some link there. And then you click on the link, and then what it does, it installs a malware, which is the next term. We'll get to it what it is, and then and then it will do all sorts of bad things. So we'll go over all the details. So there are several types of phishing. Email. Phishing, smishing. Smishing is something that you get in text SMS. text messages, wishing, voice messages or voice calls. That is called wishing. And there are, there are a lot more like whaling, spear phishing, which we don't need to learn in this session. But for us, at least for families and individuals, smishing, wishing, phishing, these are the three things that we need to make sure we understand thoroughly. Whaling and spear phishing, that's for our operations and organizations, right? So what happens? As I mentioned, let you click a link and then did any of you see Odyssey movie that recently got released? No, I don't think so. So did any of you hear about Trojan horse?
Yeah.
Trojan horse. So the concept of Trojan horse, I'll go through real quick because that's very close to malware, right? In Greek mythology, Greeks were trying to invade a town called Troy, and they could not get to it. So what they do is, they leave a huge wooden horse on the shore of the Troy city, and then they go back. So the soldiers and citizens of the Troy city, they come out and see that, hey, these guys left a huge wooden horse, maybe that's a gift for us. And then they pull that horse, it's a huge big horse, hundreds and thousands of soldiers pull that horse. They open the gates of the city and pull that horse inside the Troy city. And then during the night, soldiers were hiding in that Trojan horse, and then they jump out of the Trojan horse and then open the gates for entire Greek army to come in and then capture the. So the bottom line here is, malware is, it's not something that they are trying to push onto you. You are pulling yourselves. Like citizens of Troy pulled the Trojan horse. You are you inadvertently pulling something. You are acting on it. You are clicking a link. You are installing something which you're not supposed to. So again, Trojan horse is name of one of the malwares, but there are like viruses, worms, and there are several types of malware. So again, awareness is important. Making sure you're little suspicious every time. Healthy skepticism is what we find as. And ransomware is very important because again, when malware, it's a type of malware that will freeze your laptop, your computer. Completely, and then they want you'll get a pop-up. I don't know if any of you noticed. You'll get a pop-up saying, okay, call this number to or pay this much amount, or send this money in cryptocurrency, or deposit this much amount in a bank account so that we can release it back, right? So that's ransomware. So we have to be very careful. We'll get into more details as we get into the next slides on how to prevent it, right? So, sometimes when you're working on a laptop, you get a pop-up all of a sudden. Okay, there is an update installed. You get annoyed. Doing serious work, let me push it. Okay, tonight, tomorrow, a week after, right? But keep in mind that they are trying to get you some important updates so that they know that there is something wrong, or there is something, a malware or a virus or something, and they want to fix their application or their operating system or the internet browser. So make sure to get the updates as soon as they get released, because it contains a lot of very important updates to protect your laptop, to protect your information. Okay, it applies to anything and everything. Any application, any operating system. So another important thing, as I mentioned, don't click anything. Like, for example, you receive an email from bankofamerica.com. Hey, I have an account at bankofamerica.com. That's legitimate. Let me go to the site and see. Don't click, even if it is legitimate, don't click a link in the email. Go to the browser. Go to the, and then type URL by yourself, www.bankofamerica.com. Don't click any link. Okay, and do not give access. For example, my laptop, right? So I should not be giving my laptop to you or anyone else saying, okay, can you help connect to so that we can present it, right? So we should not, even though it's close friend, even though you know the person very well, don't let anyone touch your laptops or your computers. Okay. How to prevent phishing? Again, don't click links. never send any sensitive information through emails. Okay, they are subject to attack, man in the middle attack again, right? Um, and if you get, all of this when you get an email from someone you're not expecting, be suspicious. Whether it is a colleague or family, or if you're not expecting something, check back, call them. Did you send this? Is it legitimate? And log out when you're finished. So look into this email, right? You all receive these kind of emails almost every day. I receive it every day. I can show you. But this is from PayPal. Hey, PayPal, we all use PayPal, most of us, and this seems to be legitimate. And they're asking us to, someone is asking us to pay the invoice. Is this legitimate? It says PayPal. If you look into the top, it says service at paypal.com. Wow, it is legitimate, right? Service at paypal.com. But unless and until you hover over, you would not see something like Leah at directadminpanel.site. That's a big red flag. What is that email? It's not. So it's just the alias they created, so that you know that it's legitimate. Say hello at it says hello at Venu at yahoo.com. But my email is vmadhavmr at gmail.com. It says hello vmadhavmr at gmail.com, but they don't know my name is Venu Madhav, right? They just say hello vmadhavmr at gmail.com. That's a red flag. They don't know me, right? Next. And Beth sent an invoice. Who is Beth? Do you know Beth? Why should we trust her, right? Next. See the grammatical errors for any information, bad grammar. Again, this was probably a few months back, but now these days with the advent of AI, even the grammatical mistakes are gone. It will look more legitimate. So be suspicious always. And what is this even, right? What does this even mean? We don't even know. Okay. Now business email compromise. So someone sends an email saying, hey, you are randomly chosen to get a $50. Wow. Who doesn't want free money, right? So too good to be true. There is no free lunch, right? And another red flag is please hurry through. It's a high sense of urgency. Whenever someone creates high sense of urgency, whenever you see sense of urgency in any messages, emails, be suspicious. Okay. Next. Okay. So it's smishing, right? So look into this text message someone receives, a student receives. A college student, okay? So, a random message out of nowhere, are you free? I have an urgent task. Poor guy, he or she doesn't know, then they will respond, right? I mean, why would you think it is suspicious? And then they say, okay, urgent, go get some gift cards. I'll pay you back. You should not trust all this, right? Next. Yeah, so do you recognize the number? Is it, is that person, even though you recognize the number, is that the normal way that person converts? For example, sometimes, again, they use aliases. They, something called spoofing. Again, in cybersecurity terminology, we call it as spoofing. Even in the previous PayPal example where they spoofed their original email saying service at paypal.com, right? Even for the telephone number, they'll say, okay, your wife's name, your son's name. And then they'll send a message, but look into the message. Is that how they normally converse with you, right? And it's sense of urgency again, right? That's the goal of this scam. Next. So phishing text, all of a sudden, you see a message. I receive this every day almost, right? What should you do? Just delete the message and block it. Okay. Question everything again. Be healthy skepticism. Question everything. Take a close look. Again, this is second bullet is not valid anymore with AI. Do you know the person? Whoever you're getting this messages, emails, call them back. Okay, call them back and not email them back or text them back to the numbers or email addresses for sure to confirm. So okay, it's quite normal. How much ever we are suspicious, how much ever we are careful, it happens. It happens to almost everyone. We fall into the trap, and then what to do next, right? You know, keep calm. Remember, you're not alone. It happens. It's very common. And make sure that you identify what happened, what information was stolen. Contact your local law enforcement. Obtain your credit reports and report it to FBI, and then you'll get help. Don't panic. Okay. Quick quiz. So you get a text from your grandson confirming the date and time of your upcoming fishing trip. Should you trust it or not?
Does he usually send those texts? That's the first question.
Good question. Yeah, question it, and then if it is
If in doubt,
yeah.
then you
Yep.
check.
So email from Amazon.com announcing that you have $100 gift card. So there is a red flag there. Amazon and .com plus again gift cards. Nothing is free, so you should not, right? And a link in Facebook to a hilarious survey that everybody is talking. You should not trust, right? And a text from your daughter saying she needs you to buy some gift cards for her with a link to click.
No.
Definitely no. An email from your doctor's office confirming an appointment you just made over the phone. You made the appointment, you're expecting it, right? So you probably should trust. Friend request from someone you don't know.
No.
Definitely big no.
So we'll talk a little bit more about identity theft. So this is something where a bad actor or a bad guy kind of gains access to some information about you, and this information is some personal information, and they use it to do things like open accounts under your name, things like credit cards, getting loans. They make purchases. They might make claims on their insurance, on your Medicare, and unfortunately can have a lasting effect on your credit and maybe leave you with a lot of outstanding debt. So what do we do to prevent identity theft? So what can we do? We talk about password managers. Make sure you use those, and be careful sending sensitive information online. Make sure that it's a secure site when you're putting anything in. So if it's a secure site, at the top left of any website, you'll see a little lock. So that's how you know it's a secure site. But still be suspicious regardless. And then for something like social security number, never fill in your social security number unless it is otherwise required. A lot of forms have a field where you can put in your social security number, but there might not be the red asterisk where it's starred or it's required. So you can just skip that. Don't put it in if it's not needed. And obviously, we talked about multi-factor authentication. It's very useful. Set it up for everything that you have, for example, for your social media, email, definitely your financial accounts or your bank accounts, and online shopping sites. Never give any of your information over the phone. If someone's going to call you looking for information and you pick up, make sure you hang up. It's okay to not tell them or respond to them right away. Hang up, look up the actual company of the person and get their actual contact and call them back. Don't call the number that called you. And this is something we'll talk about a lot or we'll recommend a lot over the next few slides, but make sure you put a credit freeze on your accounts. So this can be done at any of the 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
So you put on one, and that's enough for
You have to put
all 3.
So you don't need your credit to be open always, right? You only need it when you open your accounts or credit cards, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So always freeze your accounts. Whenever, let's say for example, you need to apply for a car loan, then you can temporarily lift it and then apply for the loan, get it, and then freeze it again.
Okay.
So that is the safest and best way.
So simplest thing is to just call them and do it, or is it?
You can do it online. You can do it online, or you can call them and do it. Yeah, so that's very important. Freeze your credit on all 3 credit unions.
Credit bureau.
Credit bureaus. Freeze your credit, all 3 credit bureaus, and keep it frozen forever unless and until there is a legitimate need for you to open it. And opening does not take a lot of time. Just very quick, few seconds, open it, then close it again. Or you can also open it like for a duration, like 3 days, 4 days, 1 week. That way, if you're applying for a loan, home loan, car loan, then you can keep it open for a certain period of time, but freeze it always.
All the time.
So how do you protect yourself in your credit report? some things that are really important are shredding all your documents that have personal information on them after you've finished with them or after you're done using them. And at least annually, make sure you check your credit reports. We talked about the 3 credit bureaus. You can check it at that link over there. You can take a picture or a screenshot if you wish to do so. And place a fraud alert on all your credit files, freeze your credit reports, including your kids' credit reports as well. Review your credit card statements monthly. Make sure anytime you get your statements, you look at it line by line, or set alerts for all your transactions. So, for example, I set a threshold alert where if there's a withdrawal on my Bank of America account over $200, I get a notification. File your taxes early. Make sure you file them before scammers can get access to your information and file them on your behalf, because then they'll get your returns and not you. And if you're asked to give your social security number on a form, think twice, ask if they really need it. We talked about if there's an asterisk or a star, then put it in. If not, no need.
Especially doctor offices, they ask for social security number even they don't need it. But again, going back to the credit bureaus are required by law to give free credit reports once every year. So please take advantage of it.
Plus, if you are impacted by a breach and you get free credit monitoring services, you should use that as well.
So you get email or a postal mail saying, hey, you're impacted. We had a breach. Platforms get breached almost every day. So they are obliged to send notifications to customers saying that they are breached, and they are obliged by law to provide you free credit monitoring. I mean, generally, if you need your credit monitoring, it costs a lot. But if a company is offering you for free, and if you know that company, for example, Target had a breach like 2 years back, they sent a postal mail to every customer saying, hey, your information was breached. We are offering you free credit monitoring. Take it, free credit monitoring.
So how do you know that you're a victim? Let's say you receive a lot of physical mail or email related to loans that you never applied for, or some credit cards are being pre-approved on your name, or you're getting notifications that credit cards are being rejected, regardless of if you've applied for them or not. And maybe you get a letter from the IRS about an income tax return that you submitted, or you get notices from your insurance provider that you went to a doctor's office or did procedures that weren't yours. So what do you do if this happens to you? This is very common, so again, stay calm. You're not the only one. Make sure you place that fraud alert on your credit report. Contact your bank and any other companies where the theft is occurring. And then close out all your accounts that have been tampered with or opened fraudulently. And then take a picture, a screenshot of that link, report your identity theft to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. And finally, file a report with your local police department as well. So another quiz. Multi-factor authentication takes too long, so you shouldn't bother. Yes or no?
No.
Right. It's very important. It doesn't take that long to set it up. Definitely do it. What about you should give your social security number to anybody that asks for it?
No.
Right. That is one of the most personal things you have, so never give that out unless it's necessary. What about it's okay to hang up on a caller who asks for your personal information?
Yes.
Yeah. Hang up, call them back from a number that you verify yourself. And then you can put a credit freeze on your account to manage access to your consumer reports.
Yes.
Yep. As we talked about, it's definitely important to just keep it permanently freezed unless you need it otherwise.
So we'll go through some of the common scams. So artificial intelligence. When do you think artificial intelligence came into existence? Any guess? Year, like 2000, something. Throw in a year.
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID. 1950s. Artificial intelligence came into existence in 1950s. As a matter of fact, when I did my undergrad in computer science and engineering, artificial intelligence was one of my majors. Unfortunately, I could not get a job at that time because there were no jobs in artificial intelligence. But now these days, we all know that there is no job without artificial intelligence, at least majority of it. But the artificial intelligence become more popular or more close to end users or consumers with around between like 2009 2010 when Siri, Alexa, started their existence with text to voice, voice to text, all this technology, and then now it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. So it has a lot of we are seeing a lot of practical good examples, right? If you go to Amazon, based on your previous purchase history, it will recommend a lot of other things to buy. You go to Netflix, based on your watch history, it will recommend other things. It's all artificial intelligence behind, right? So it also has a lot of bad effects. The bad actors, the adversaries, they are using it as well to steal information, to steal money, to steal personal information from people. So we have to be very careful with this as well. So deep fakes, again, we are seeing a lot of videos in YouTube these days, or Instagram, or everywhere with some voice or some videos by non-humans, right? That's all artificial intelligence. We don't have to. It's giving a lot of income to a lot of people. We don't have to spend days and hours to create something, right? So content creators, they're flourishing these days with artificial intelligence. However, bad actors are also using it. As long as they have your voice sample, your picture, a small video, they can create anything. Claiming that it's your video, your voice, right? We'll get to after a few slides, we'll get to some real examples on how artificial intelligence is being widely used. But make sure again awareness, as we mentioned in the beginning, we have to be aware and make sure to be skeptic, healthy skepticism. Okay? Be suspicious, right? So make sure you know where the information is coming. Are you expecting someone is calling you, claiming that your son, your father, or your grandfather, grandson? Make sure is that legitimate, because they may claim that they may use your clone your voice. So are you really expecting it? Okay, so if you receive something that is out of place, make sure to check it back. Don't trust it blindly. This is very important. Everyone, every family should have a secret word. Okay, if someone calls you, hey mom, I'm in danger, send me $1,000, right? Okay, what is your family code? Okay, so make sure you have a family code, secret family code. Again, it should be secret. Not everyone should. So a secret family code for your family. That way, you recognize if it is a real voice, a real person. Again, it need not be a phone call. It can be a video call as well. Okay, it's not that easy to. I mean, there are techniques to distinguish between the real video and fake video, but see, when someone is in stress, your emotions will kick in, and then logic will not come into picture at that time, right? Especially if that person is your loved one. So make sure to have a secret family code for every family. Okay, think before you click again. Okay, so let's look into this example, right? So look into this picture. Is this legitimate or is this AI created, right? I know you already saw this, right? I mean, this jewelry earring, it's not appropriately placed. It's not attached to the ear, right? And so this blurry areas here. If it is a real picture, there should not be any blurry areas. You have to pay close attention. See, these fingers are distorted and wrong number of fingers. Okay. So again, if you receive anything out of nowhere, just be suspicious. Okay, so you receive a friend request from a stranger who seems to share your interests. Should you trust it?
No.
Again, your information is everywhere. Because of social media, you're posting everything everywhere. Everyone knows what your interests are, what you do. So they know, they're watching. So just don't trust blindly. You receive a friend request from someone you know very well. you can trust because you know that person very well. Probably okay again. Be suspicious again. Verify that that's the real person. Your new social media friend asks about your retirement account.
Red flag.
Big red flag. Okay. You receive a friend request from someone you went to high school with. For example, it's been like 10 years or 15 years since you interacted with that person. Be suspicious. Again, it could be legitimate, but be cautious. And your new social media friend gives you unsolicited financial advice.
Don't take
No,
it.
don't even listen. And your new friend has carrot fingers. Okay, so some digital scams. Let's look into some digital scams. So again, fake websites. Don't click links. Go to the website. Go to type. I know it takes time. We are lazy. www.amazon.com. Type it, or make sure you have what you call favorites. Add frequently visited websites as favorites. All right.
So, is there any situation where you click a link? As a cyber security, is there any situation like
No,
you
there is
never? Okay.
No.
So the thing is that if I have it in mind, I'm not going to click a link.
We should not. We should not trust. Unless and until, for example, again, ideally you should not, but if you're expecting something from your workplace, if you're expecting something from your, if you know for sure that it is legitimate, you're expecting, then it is probably okay.
Right.
But out of
Unexpected.
nowhere, yeah.
If you get it in email as well, hover over the link. Don't click it first. Hover over and look at the URL and then verify if it is indeed what it says it is. Because sometimes you can hyperlink something and then you can say Amazon.com, but in reality, beneath the hyperlink, beneath the text, it's actually some other hyperlink.
Fake website. Yeah, so fake products or purchases. And sometimes you get messages or emails saying, hey, I sent you some money, by mistake, and I need to get it back. You receive an OTP, give me the OTP. Right? Don't trust. Work from home scams. These are very, very common. Okay, so they'll say, okay, we offer you 100K just to just spend only 1 hour a day. We offer you 100K, but you need to take this training. To get that training, just pay us like $2,000 or $5,000, but you get 100K, right? Be suspicious. Don't trust. Some of the tips: keep your debit card in your bank wallet or somewhere very safe, inside your home safe, because you do not need your debit card unless and until you need to go to ATM and get the cash. That is the only time you need your debit card. Otherwise, do not use debit card. Do not use debit card for anything other than going to physical ATM and getting the cash. Otherwise, you should not be using debit card for purchases or anything. At the stores or online purchases, do not use debit card, because there is a lot of difference between a debit card and credit card. With debit card, once money is gone, it is gone. There is no way you can get it back. With credit card, there is an opportunity. There is a chance you can claim. You can file a complaint with your bank or a credit card issuer, and then they will investigate. Probably they will issue the money. You can get the money back. 99.99% of the cases you can get the money back if you are scammed using a credit card. However, with debit card, money is gone. It is gone forever. And again, as we said, shop directly from online stores. Don't click links. If the site is when we all know, I do. If I'm making a big purchase or if I'm making some purchase, I want to see if there is any coupon outside. Why not, right? It's a free money, and we search for coupons, and then all of a sudden we see a link. It says, okay, 50% will give you 50% off coupon, but enter some information here. It's not legitimate. Okay. Again, most of us do this. We do not review credit card statements. We just, every month we keep paying whatever the amount it is. Review every transaction to make sure it is legitimate. It is the purchase you really made, because there are like man in the middle attack. Someone must have regarding, they get your credit card information, they make purchases on your behalf. And even some of the like gas stations or some of the stores, they use some devices where you scan your credit card and then it's not going to the bank. The credit card information is going into their personal records, and then so that they can use it later. So be very suspicious. Again, vigilant. Being vigilant is very important to, as I mentioned, public Wi-Fi connection and immediate attacks. So make sure double check the URLs as you just mentioned, hover over before you click. Make sure you're expecting that email, that link from someone for sure. Always trust you that something suspicious, don't go for it. Banks will never ask for your information because they have information. Why do they ask your information, right? Again, we discussed in the beginning, strong password, multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication seems annoying, right? I mean, wait for text messages, wait for Bhai, right? But it is important. So there are two important things when you go to your website. Before you even enter your login information, okay, you click the link, then they'll ask for some personal information, login information. Okay, check for two important things. You have to see a lock here, okay, that tells that it is secure, and you have to see S here, HTTPS, which means secure. Okay, these are the two important things you need to look for any website. So let's look at.
Now we'll talk about some more common scams. So credit card scams, right? We'll go into a little case real quick, kind of a real life scenario of a college student who unknowingly fell victim to a credit card scam. So we'll talk about Abigail. So Abigail, she's a college student. She loves shopping online, and she received an email where it offered her an exclusive program, a student discount program code for a popular online shopping platform that she uses pretty often. And the email kind of claimed that there was going to be a lot of significant discounts. You get cashback opportunities. You get a lot of rewards for any student that signed up for a specialized credit card. So you can use a special credit card or buy a special credit card linked to the program. And to access the discounts and rewards, though, I would have to create an account. She has to complete an application. She has to put in a lot of personal information regarding her to facilitate the underwriting process, and she has to link an existing credit card that she already has. Does this look suspicious? What should she do before signing up?
It is suspicious.
Right, it seems a little suspicious. So let's see what happens, right? What we should look for a little bit before signing up. What company is this credit card through, right? We should take a look at that first. She should see if it's a legit financial organization, do her research first. And then does the website that the offer is on, does that website match up with the offer that the company is giving on their own website? Have you been able to find the website or phone number online without using the links that you got in an email? Did you look it up? Did you do your own research? And then what info is needed, right? Do you need a credit card to open another credit card? Probably not. Doesn't make sense. So should she sign up for the discount program? No. So we're a lot smarter than she is. Unfortunately, she signed up. She was really excited about getting all these discounts and reward points and everything. She signed up for it, and she provided her personal info, so her name, her birthday, probably social security number, and a credit card account. And unfortunately, it wasn't a legit place. It wasn't a legitimate program. So what did scammers get? Well, obviously we just talked about that. She gave her personal info, so her name, her address, credit card details, so scammers got access to that. And they were able to use the credit card and all the information provided to make unauthorized transactions with the information on her credit card, and it led to financial loss. So what should she do next? So these are some steps that Abigail can take, or any of us can take if this happens to us, to protect ourselves in the future. First and foremost, report it to the FBI. These are some important links. Feel free to take a picture or screenshot. Contact your financial institutions and let them know what happened. We talked about freezing our credit at any point. Make sure it's always frozen and only unfreeze it when it's necessary. Experience TransUnion or Equifax. And then be vigilant and then check your websites, check phone numbers, check everything that comes in that email before you sign up. Do your own research. Do you guys have any ideas or maybe anything else that she can do to protect herself in the future? Talked about a lot of cybersecurity basics.
Be vigilant before clicking anything.
Yeah, be vigilant.
Think
that's-
twice.
Think twice.
Hover over the links before she clicks them.
Awesome. We got maybe multi-factor authentication. Set that up so that if they're using your credit card, they have to sign into like an app or something.
Stop looking for discounts.
Yeah.
Coupons. Then no risk.
So we'll talk about some common scam themes. So why do people psychologically fall for some scams? Well, a lot of scams create a sense of urgency. It prevents you from thinking logically in the moment or seeking advice. We'll be thinking a little emotionally. Oh, it's super fast, it's coming up, you have to go fast. So you don't have time to think logically, what it makes it seem like. There's threatening consequences. So it frightens you. Scams might frighten you, they might get you to act fast again because you don't want that threat that's underlying to come after you. Maybe the scams build rapport. They pretend to be your friend. They pretend to be a happy or helpful coworker or a nice service technician. They're establishing trust, so you end up doing what they want you to do. And then they might pose as authorities. So people tend to obey authority figures, and especially if it's like an urgent situation. A lot of times, by the way, these are all building on top of each other. So you might have more than one of these themes rather than just one within a scam. For authority figures, think maybe a cop calls or a fake cop calls you, where someone calls saying they're from the FBI or someone calls from the IRS. They offer to help. Maybe they alert you to a problem that you have, and then offer to help. So think our very common Microsoft tech support scams will call you and say, hey, we have a virus, we found a virus on your computer, we'll fix it. What virus? You didn't even know there's a virus. How do they know you have a virus? And then they use emotional appeals, exploiting your emotions. So they'll exploit your fear, maybe greed, sympathy, or excitement. And now we'll move on to another topic. So we'll talk about home safety. So everyone has a network at home. Everyone has devices. Everyone has laptops, computers, phones, and everything contains valuable personal data. Sometimes very emotional data. So think our phones. We have pictures from our childhoods up until now. For me, my mom has a lot of photos of me from when she was younger. So if she lost that, that'd be very sad. So back up all your data. Make sure you back up everything you have. Use an external portable storage or cloud services. An external storage, think like an external hard drive. Plug it in and back it up. Or cloud service. So think we use Apple's subscription service for Apple Cloud or iCloud. That's very convenient, only a few dollars a month. And then make sure backups are happening either daily or weekly, depending on what kind of data you're backing up. Daily is a little too much sometimes, but clouds often do that. Cloud services often do it by themselves periodically throughout the day. And then use the 3-2-1 rule. So you want 3 copies of your data on 2 different media sources, so external and cloud, and then keep 1 copy offsite. Periodically check or verify that your data can be restored. So here and there, when you do a backup on maybe you back up your laptop or you save a backup of your laptop. At that moment, test it, plug it back in, and run that backup.
So this one, you all must be thinking, or many of you must be thinking that, it's not too much work, right? I mean, why should we even do this? So remember we discussed about ransomware, right? So all of this, I mean, I know you all are very smart and you don't click anything, you don't do anything, you are very careful, but something happens, without inadvertent, without your knowledge, and then a malicious attacker, an adversary gets into a computer and takes hold of it, and all of a sudden you see a pop-up, okay, pay me $50,000, otherwise, we will not release your computer or laptop, and we can't do anything with it, right? You get very emotional because you have 20 years worth of pictures, your family pictures, a lot of data in it, is 50,000 worth? It is, because it's family emotions, and you may, all you can do is you have to pay. Otherwise, you can get those pictures back or data back. Pictures is just an example, but there could be a lot of other data as well, right? Imagine you have a backup. What will you do? What will you say? Forget about this laptop. Just $2,000 or even less than $1,000. I can get it. Why pay 50,000? I throw this laptop in the trash because I have a very good backup, latest backup, right? So that's why it is important.
Okay, so continuing on home safety, a lot of our devices at homes are connected to the internet. We can connect to our thermostats on our phones. We can connect to our garage, open that from our phones. We can play Subway Surfers on our fridges these days for whatever reason. Our homes can connect to everything, and they all connect to each other. They're interconnected. It's called the Internet of Things. So these devices are devices with tech and network connectivity, and they're usually managed through the internet or an app. They often require an app, and they can operate in online and offline modes. So how do we secure these? Well, when you're connected, while we can feel a lot safer with a home network or a connected home, and it can make our lives a lot easier with the app connectivity, they also have a lot of risks. So make sure you're very careful with who you're giving access to everything. So for example, if some of you drive a Tesla, you can start your car from your phone. A lot of cars actually have a phone app these days to just remote start. If your friend calls you and you're outside the home, like, hey, can you give me access to your phone app so I can borrow your car? Don't do that. Be very careful. Same with thermostats, same with anything. Make sure it's only on your own device. Don't give access to other people. Believe it or not, people, if they gain access to a thermostat app that's connected to the Wi-Fi or the home internet, they can get into your Wi-Fi through the thermostat. Consider using a family DNS service on the home router to protect internet surfing and browsing, and make sure you monitor who's using your network at all times.
So on this note, right, very important topic here. So home router. So there is something called war driving. I don't know if you heard about it. So people, bad actors, adversaries, they keep either walking or driving from home to home, and then they'll keep checking whether your Wi-Fi is secure or not. If they can access into your Wi-Fi, and then that's it. They can, if any of the bad actor adversary can get access to your Wi-Fi, everything is, they can get into all your devices, right? So make sure your Wi-Fi router is secure. I know we get a lot of guests, and then as soon as any guest comes to your home, what will they ask for? Wi-Fi password. We have to give. So make sure maybe you can have a guest account and guest password, guest account to give password for guests separately, and then always go to your Wi-Fi app, router app, and monitor. Okay, who is connected? Keep checking periodically who is connected, right? And then disconnect any unknown devices or any unknown. As soon as guest leaves the house, disconnect that connection. So it's very important.
So where is this app, router app?
Every router will come up with the
App. So we have
to install your
in the phone.
or you can access even from the laptop. Or, sorry. So just a quick time check. We try to wrap up in another maybe 15-20 minutes, and it's been an hour. Lot of very helpful and useful information. I'm sure you all agree. And there are lot more tips and lot more helpful resources coming up. So in case you're watching online, so please give us another maybe 15-20 minutes. Please.
Yeah, so kind of go fast for the rest of these. Social media. Everyone uses social media. It's a lie to say we don't have it. If you're a working professional, you might have LinkedIn. Still consider social media. Maybe people have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Social media is very powerful. Everyone has it, and it's really important to stay safe. So we recognize some of these. You got X, also known as Twitter, Discord, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. A lot of these apps have age requirements, but it's easy for your kids to lie. So we're going to talk a little bit about child safety and social media. In fact, there's a lot of cases where kids often lie about their age to get on certain apps like maybe Instagram, Facebook, and oftentimes many parents and grandparents might even help them. I remember when I made my first email, I think I put 1988 or something to get account access in the first place. Even worse, many parents and grandparents often give their own device to children to access social media, and they often get adult access for it as well. So Okay. All data provided to a social network is stored, and most of the time it's shared by default. Can we route that into here?
That's fine. Continue.
So how do we stay safe? Well, some of the things are ensure your child's social profiles are private. Also good practice for all of us. Make sure our profiles are private, not public, unless it's a business account. You need that for your business or it's your personal brand. Go into your settings, adjust the default controls. Have a conversation with your kids. Explain that what's posted on the internet is impossible to remove, and it's available to everybody. So maybe your future employers, your future colleges, or even future love interests will see what you post online. So make sure it's safe, and make parental approval of social groups and networks part of your parent-child contract, and take a look at what your kids are doing. Make sure you friend them and follow them so that you can check in on social media activity. Also be aware there's something called fake accounts, or I guess Finsta's like the term, that you might not be aware of. Your kids could create them and they make it private so you can't follow. So have a convo with your kids about how to use social media. There's a few things that are important to discuss. So make sure you talk with them about stopping and thinking before they post. Is the post really serious? Like, is that something that's necessary? Do you need to share it? If you share it, does it hurt someone, or would it share any more information than you're supposed to share? And never share personal information. Keep that safe and secure. Things like your age, your school, your address, your work location, vacation info, or maybe if your parents are at home, don't share that online. And never agree to meet anybody you met online, even if you think there's somebody your age. And social media shouldn't be a popularity contest, and make sure you treat others with kindness and respect online. If you wouldn't say it to somebody's face, online. And make sure you're very careful of photos you post online. Posted photos often reveal a lot of details. In our camera apps, there's this thing called geotagging. When you take a picture, your phone automatically stores the location of where that picture was taken. And if you post it online and you're not home at the same time, a lot of times people can do bad things if they have bad intentions. So turn that off. It's oftentimes found in the camera settings of your phone. You can turn off the location services on your camera app. And anytime you take pictures, there's no geotagging. This is also important conversation to have with your kids. Talk about taking and sharing sexually explicit photos. Using a picture messaging app. So for example, Snapchat, if you snap someone, the photo disappears. Doesn't mean it's actually gone. If I take a snap and I send it to my dad, and he has a second phone, you can take a picture of the picture. You can always screenshot it, although that alerts them, gives them a notification. But still, regardless, if you send something personal or private, it's not personal or private forever. And you can test that out, what I just said. Try to do that as an experiment. And also, depending on where you live, it's also probably a criminal offense for your child to have sexually explicit photos on their phone. What goes online stays online. This is really important. So even on apps where photos, chats, they all disappear, think about what you're posting about. What if any of these people kind of came across your post? Like, how would you feel? If your parents saw it, your grandparents, teachers, coaches, future employers, or friends. If you don't want any of these people seeing it, don't post it, DM it, or share it online. So the algorithm, we hear a lot about the algorithm. Social media is unfortunately designed to keep you engaged. The algorithms forces you to stay on and on and on. It's a dopamine cycle, a dopamine loop. It suggests content that learns from what you're interested in, and it doesn't care about how your mental health is or how it affects your worldviews. So you might end up seeing things that only reinforce certain messages or certain body types, or portray overly perfect environments. So make sure you remember not everything you see online is real, or it's not even the whole story of what you're seeing. So there's a couple of tips for preventing social media scams. So don't overshare, don't fill out questionnaires online. If someone posts something on their story, say, hey, fill out my questionnaire, and ask personal questions like your favorite teacher or the street you grew up on. Only accept friend requests from people you know. We talked about this earlier. Sometimes it's good also to think of friends lists. Maybe you're following people that you talked to once in the last 10 years. You might not need that. Don't geotag your photos. We talked about how to turn them off. Turn off location on your camera app. And don't post things like your birthday, and check your privacy settings as well. So we'll do one more scenario, or another scenario. It goes into a real scenario where kind of a high schooler kind of falls into a catfish scam. So Jake, he starts chatting with this girl Zoe online on Instagram. She DM'd him, and he checked her feed, her posts, and found out that she liked a lot of things that he liked. Went to the same school, and they were fans of the same music. Played soccer, they loved that, and they talked and they struck up a conversation. And they talked about all sorts of things. They talked a lot throughout the day, and Jake finally felt a little comfortable and maybe thought there was something there and felt like she really understood him. But a few weeks go by. So he suggests that they should start sending each other nude photos or explicit photos. And she sent a photo of her posing in her underwear and suggested that he sent something back. But what should Jake do? Okay. So should Jake send these photos? What should he think about? Well, does he really know who Zoe is? He met her on Instagram, DM'd her on Instagram. Does he actually know that she exists? She could be some random dude in Nigeria that has like a phone trying to scam you out of money. Once you send the photos out there forever, so even if she is who she is, she might still send it to other people. You never know. And sending explicit text, so sexting, it's illegal in some states as well. So should he send the pics?
No.
No, never. Thankfully, he didn't send the pics, and he was smart. He did research and realized that her profile is brand new. It only went back a couple months. A lot of things that they were talking about that he thought that she was also interested in were things that he posted openly on his account. So she did her research on him, and they were able to do a lot more digging, and they couldn't find a record of Zoe either at the school, him and his friends. So what should he do next? Delete the photos. Don't show it to anyone, even if they get sent to you. That might not be illegal. It's illegal to hold them and have them. So delete them right away. Block her. Stop talking to her. And talk to maybe talk to your friends. You should talk to his friends and make sure they know what to do if something happens to them like that. Talk to their parents or guardians or trusted adult about what's happened. So this is called catfishing. He was part of a catfishing scam. Most likely, if he did send the photos, so he would have demanded for things like money, access to his accounts, or information about his family or finances. And if he refused, he probably would threaten to release his photos publicly. And catfishing can happen to anyone. It's catfishing and fake friend scams happen to adults, senior citizens. We talk about high school student, college kid scenario, but it happen to anybody. So always be careful when you're talking to people that you met online, only met online, and anyone can pretend to be anybody online. Be careful sharing your information. Keep your settings to yourself. Settings private. And it's really serious. It has a lot of implications on mental health. It's harmed a lot of people. Catfishing scams, a lot of people have gone through it. So if it happens to you, stay calm. It's not your fault. You're not alone. This has happened to so many people. Talk to a trusted adult. It might be difficult to admit what happened, but it's better than keeping it inside. So advice for some kids. A lot of kids have suffered mental health episodes. They've even harmed themselves in situations like this, especially younger children and teens. So being able to be a trusted adult for someone that you know that maybe is going through this is very important. And definitely contact your local authorities.
Okay, so let's talk about some online solicitation. So continuing to what Suchi just mentioned, if you look into this statistic, 1 in 5 10 to 17-year-olds have been sexually solicited by people online. It is a real fact. And out of that, 1 in 30 of these kids have ended up meeting someone who, meeting solicitor in real life. So, this is very scary. So please be aware, again, if you're youth, who joined this session, make sure always talk to a trusted adult. I mean, it doesn't have to be your parents. You may not be comfortable talking to your parents, but again, recently these extortion attempts have doubled in the past 2 years. So you have to be very careful. If someone approaches you and someone shows a sudden interest in you, it's a red flag. They live in a different city. And they don't share a lot of common friends, and they offer you free gifts. Again, nothing is free, right? And someone may offer you like acting, modeling roles. Don't trust. This is also called grooming. They're trying to get close to you, grooming, right? And who doesn't want tickets to a concert, a major concert, an artist concert? But again, be suspicious. Don't trust everyone. It is illegal. It may result in criminal charges if it forward explicit material. And bullying, revenge, impress friends. It's all like criminal distribution. Okay. Under 18 cannot consent on sending any explicit media under any circumstances in the United States. And some tips again, as I mentioned, Suchil mentioned, talk to trusted adult. Okay, doesn't have to be your parent. If you're not comfortable talking to your parents, find a trusted adult, talk to them. Report anything sketchy. Never ever give discuss credit card information. Don't post your address online. Your address, photos of your house, even photos of your house. Right? Don't post it online. Never meet someone someone you met online, but don't meet that person in person without telling any adult. Okay. Um, so again, that was a lot. Just remember, right? I mean, share wisely, talk to trusted adult. Don't have to get into detail of all these we discussed. Think about the potential repercussions, right? So I'll give you one very important way to look at it. Think of whatever you post online, whether a message, a picture, anywhere in social media, anywhere online. Think of it as appearing in New York Post, front page of New York Post, a Wall Street Journal, and think of how your friends and family will perceive you when they look into that New York front page of New York Post or Wall Street Journal. That's how you should look into whenever you try to post online. Okay.
The other thing is that New York Post will be there tomorrow, but your online thing is
Yes,
there
yes.
forever. 10 years later, when you're looking for a job in a high position,
Absolutely.
then they can go back.
That's a very good point. So maybe you're running for a gubernatorial post or you're running for a presidential election. Everything will come back and haunt you. So it's all, even your post is online. It's there forever. Right?
No, yes, okay, true.
But again, just think of in that angle as well.
So we'll talk about cyberbullying real quick. It's got unique consequences, and that can be three things: persistent, permanent, and hard to notice. Persistent means that it's continuous; it can happen 24 hours a day. Permanent means that if it's a lot of the info is communicated electronically, anything like we talked about, anything put online is permanent and public, and if it's not recorded and removed, it's going to stay that way. And it's hard to notice in the sense that teachers or parents might not overhear or see cyberbullying take place. Kids might be struggling to talk about it. So watch for these following signs that maybe your kids are victims of cyberbullying. They might get angry, depressed, frustrated. They might stop using devices unexpectedly. They might stop accessing social media sites or the games that they love to play. They feel uneasy about going to school, or they're abnormally withdrawn from the usual activities with friends and family. Maybe they're secretive, or they have aggressive behavior. Or there's multiple accounts for emails and social. They have multiple accounts for emails and social media. Or maybe they start talking to you about recent victims of cyberbullying. They have falling out with friends, or they start following the wrong crowd. They start hanging out with the wrong people. And then maybe if you question them, they have adverse reactions. They get really angry. So what can you do as a parent or a trusted adult? Teach your kids to confide in you and report any cyberbullying immediately. Make sure you're a safe place for them to be and talk to. Monitor social media sites, apps, and browsing histories as well. And make sure you follow or friend your teen on those social media apps, or have another trusted adult do so. And then use embedded parental controls, like the parental controls on cell phones, cell devices, or laptops. And so if your child is experiencing cyberbullying, keep evidence. Make sure you log, record, monitor every single thing, screenshots, emails, text messages. Take everything and save it. And report all of that to the social media sites themselves, the online service providers, internet service providers, law enforcement, especially if your kid's receiving threats of violence, sexually explicit content, stalking, or hate crimes, and report to school if it's a school-related issue. And then talk to your kid about not being a bystander or about being a bystander. So don't participate. If there's some bullying campaign going on social media, don't participate, don't like, don't share, don't comment. If you're the one that's getting cyberbullied, don't retaliate or don't respond in anger if your friend's getting bullied. If you feel comfortable, respond privately to the person who created that harmful message and follow up with the person being targeted. Support is crucial. It's really important for mental health. Get help immediately, don't let these problems linger. These are really important resources, so take a picture, screenshot if you want to. They're important resources. The Stop Bullying Hotline, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and the cybersmart.org. Yeah, so gaming. Another quick thing. I love video games. It's a great way for kids, adults, anybody, all ages to connect and spend time. But they do have a lot of risks that come with them. So we'll talk a little bit about child safety here. Games can include nudity, violence, murder, prostitution, and they often mean that your kids are online on these games with strangers, random people. Games are just like social media in the sense that they're designed to be a dopamine loop. They want to keep your kids playing. They want you to spend too much time, more than you might want to. But there's a lot of good ways to stay safe. So make sure you play games with your kids. Be curious about what they're playing. Even if they're playing something that seems like, oh, this guy's like, he's playing something that's, I don't want to sit there and shoot guns or something. Even if they're older teens or young kids, whatever they're playing, be curious. Play with them. That's the best way for you to understand their world and what's possible around them, what risks are possible, and who they may be talking to. You can also learn the lingo. If they start saying some slang that you don't understand, it seems it's coming from a risky context, playing those games might get you a better understanding. Make sure you implement restrictions. These can be added in the App Store to prevent kids from downloading apps, and be vigilant. So there's in-game currency. A lot of games, almost every game has an option for you to buy more in-game currency with real-life currency, using dollars to buy dollars in the game. And app restrictions aren't just going to protect your child, but also your bank account in the event that they just buy something without you knowing on a credit card. So we live in America, so we don't have to worry about the PEGI rating system, but the ESRB rating system is down here. They're kind of similar to movie ratings for how you can look at it for if the game is okay to play versus like if the movie's okay to watch for a certain age rating. So be aware. So up until the E10 plus is fine, but anything teen and above, even though teen says teen, you can be 13, 14. A lot of those teen rated games have a very mature audience, kind of adult oriented community of players. So for your minors, games, they can be anywhere. You can play on your laptop, you can play on my phone, you can play on the device that's recording us right now. There's often the ability for social networking or microtransactions in game currency. It's definitely worth remembering. And then coach your kids to keep online chat conversations relevant to the game and not to provide online any personal information. If it gets bad, you can turn off a lot of these features like in-game chats or in-game purchases. So we'll talk again about student-related scams too now. Student-related scams, there's a couple types. So you can have scholarship aid or financial-related scams where scammers are going to call to award non-existent scholarships, or they'll have fraudulent websites set up where they purport to offer scholarships to you. They might have student loan and debt relief scams where they usually offer to lower monthly payments or lower your loan debt, or job opportunity scams. So scammers advertise jobs or job opportunities. They do that you can do minimal work with a high-paying salary. Even with the rate of this market, sometimes these opportunities are even normal work, normal salary, and there still be a scam. So be careful when you're applying jobs. So do your research. This is how you can prevent some of these. If it sounds too good to be true, probably is. We talked about it. Trust your gut. There's a career center in most colleges. Talk to them. If something seems a little off on your job offer, talk to them. Talk to your career center and don't give the offer any personal information until you have. Contact your financial aid office if you have any questions about a scholarship, especially if you got something and you didn't apply for it. So how do we address these? So there's steps we can take to prevent or protect students from these scams. Report, obviously, to the financial aid office or to local law enforcement. Report to the FBI, take a picture or screenshot. Those are important links. Contact your financial institutions. Make sure you let them know what's happened. And we talked about credit freezing, we talked about it a lot. Very important. Always keep your credit frozen until you need it otherwise. So go back and freeze it if this happens. And then be very vigilant. Make sure you check your websites, your phone numbers, links, emails, everything before you sign up for anything.
All right, so this is the last section. We'll wrap up very soon. So, this presentation, it was supposed to be meant for like different age groups. Like you were supposed to have a separate presentation for seniors, separate presentation for college students, separate presentation for But here we thought between online and in person, we thought we cover everyone in the same session. So that's why it's taking a little bit time. Last section. So seniors, the second most vulnerable target for adversaries, right, other than youth children, right? So Census Bureau, US Census Bureau estimates like 52 million Americans are aged like 65 or older. And why are they target? Because they must have accumulated a lot of wealth by now. Even if not, at least they should have some very good credit scores, right? I mean, they've built a lot of good credit scores historically, traditional upbringing. And most importantly, seniors love to talk. They tell everything, their personal information about their grandkids, their children, their parents, their upbringing, their roots, right? So everyone knows everything about all the seniors, I mean, mostly, right? So and they lost millions and billions of dollars in currency equivalent to these numbers. Common scams, right? Parent, grandparent scams, IRS scams, tech scams, a lot of different types. So let's go through a real life case study. It's really happened. Maureen, she's a grandmother. All of a sudden, one fine day, she gets a phone call from her grandson. And doesn't seem, it's not coming from his grandson's number really, because it's not part of her address book. But she was expecting a call from someone at that time, unfortunately, and she picked the call, even it's a strange number. And then the other side, it's a grandson's voice. Grandma, I'm in trouble. I hit a car and send me $8,200. It's urgent. And then immediately after that, the same call, another person joins the call and says, "Hey, I'm your grandson's attorney. He hit a diplomat. It's a very serious case. You should not tell anyone for under 72 hours because it's a sensitive case. Don't tell anyone for 72 hours, but go to the bank, withdraw $8,200, deposit into this particular account, and gives the account number." What should Maureen do next? Because grandson, emotions, logic dies. No logic here.
She should call her son.
Yeah, but she's thinking, why didn't the grandson call his parents?
Correct.
There's a lot of things she could do, right? But unfortunately, she went to the bank, she withdrew the money, but fortunately, she thought of calling her daughter, grandson's mother, and then she called and she came to know that everyone is safe, and then she puts the money back into the account. But again, we just need to, seniors need to be aware of this, otherwise, they're losing millions and billions of dollars just within the United States. So what should Maureen do? She should definitely file a report to FBI. And again, awareness is very important. If one of us gets into trouble, we need to make sure we should not hide it. We may feel embarrassed and we may not, but we should tell others, hey, something happened to me. I want to make sure that does not happen to you all, and please be aware. Again, I mentioned several times, code word, secret word for your family. It's very important. Maureen could have asked, hey, tell me the code word, right? So just to quickly wrap up. So how to protect yourself, right? I mentioned healthy skepticism. Again, you don't have to be skeptic for anything and everything. Healthy skepticism is very important. Contact the organization. If you receive a call, email, you call them directly. Don't trust blindly. And do your own background checks. Use your own references. Do not let anyone remotely connect your computer. Again, Susan mentioned, Microsoft scams, Apple scams. They say, hey, we noticed big, huge, major virus malware in your computer, slowing down things. It will corrupt your computer. Let me fix it. Let me correct your computer. No, don't trust. Okay. Anyone asking for payments in the form of gift cards, don't do that. They'll say, okay, can you buy a gift card? I'll pay you. Buy a gift card for $100 and pay you $200. Too good to be true. Don't trust. Again, passwords, strong passwords, multi-factor authentication. We discussed. Freeze your credit card. Go to 3 credit bureaus immediately after going home or logging off from online. Go to those 3 credit bureaus online. Create an account. Freeze your credits because you can do it. it's easy to freeze and unfreeze if you do it online because you have your own account, you can do it. You can call them, but it takes hours, and then you get disappointed. Why should I wait for hours together to talk to a person? Right? Go to online, create an account, freeze it, and unfreeze it whenever you need. Again, we gave you a lot of resources. This is, take a screenshot or a picture. But stay calm. Very important. We all will go through this at some point in time, if not already. So just stay calm and take these steps. We provided a lot of tips and steps and a lot of information. If you didn't take pictures or screenshots of anything that we showed so far, reach out to us. We'll give you our contacts. We'll give you any information you need. Next, please. Again, think before you click. Get antivirus protection. Very important. Don't delay updates to your operating systems or applications. Get it as soon as the manufacturer releases. And backup. Okay, not just backup. Don't think if you just create a backup in your local computer that is said. No, backup has to be in another drive, external drive. Okay, strong passwords, Wi-Fi connections, very important. Your home Wi-Fi connections are important to secure. And when you log into public Wi-Fi connections, what to do, what not to do is also important. Question everything you see in emails and pop-ups. And another very important which we did not discuss so far is we all want to download something for free and stream for free. A movie, a movie released in the theater, Odyssey, for example. It's why spend $20 when it is available for free and a site? Go and start streaming, but you are getting malware into your computer. Nothing is free. There is no free lunch. Okay, so please don't do that. Be aware of it. Don't post sensitive information. Again, something goes online, stays online forever. Be mindful of email and phone call fraud attempts, IRS scams. Someone calls, say, I'm from police. Give me some donation, right? These are very good resources. www.imcybersafe.org. There's a lot of good information there. They're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. This is what?
Twitter.
Sorry, I'm not social media. So next, resources, very good resources. Out of all these, I can take a picture of this. This is very important resource. Check to see if your email account was hacked. Have I been pawned.com? PWNED. It's a slang of owned. OWNED owned. It becomes pawn. Have I been pawned.com? Go there immediately. You can do it now. You can do it in your phone. Check if your email account has been hacked. Right. And there are a lot of places to check for scams. There are tips for parents. Right. So yeah, this have I been pawned.com is very important resource here. Okay. Again, some of the contacts, some of the links where you can get a lot of information what to do when you're in trouble, what or at least what latest information you can get from those sources. And here are our email addresses. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to us via email. You can answer any questions. I don't know if you have any questions online so far, or if not, please send us email. I know we took almost an hour and a half. Thanks for your patience and thanks for joining online in person. Appreciate it. Again, the goal is cyber safe. How do we make sure we are cyber safe? Being aware. Cyber aware is cyber safe. Okay. Any questions on them?
No, I don't.
Okay. No? Okay. All right. Very good. So thanks everyone for joining. Hope you all got something out of this session. You can do more sessions if required. And this should be available for later review as well in the YouTube. So thank you. Any questions here? Anyone?
This is great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
A lot of information, 1.5 hours.
Yeah.